Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that pulls back the curtain on the legends, the hidden truths, and maybe some surprising facts behind the stories you bring to us.
That's the goal, getting beneath the surface.
Exactly. And today, our mission is to unravel the formative years of a really captivating figure, Kvothe.
Ah, Kvothe. A name you hear everywhere, isn't it? Whispered in taverns, studied in libraries.
Right. So we're going to extract the essential insights from this rich narrative tapestry you've shared, following the dramatic, often harrowing journey of this boy seemingly destined for greatness.
Who somehow becomes this enigma later on, a quiet innkeeper.
Precisely. So the big question for us today is, how do all these threads, early life, hidden powers, love, tragedy, how do they weave together to create the Kvothe everyone tells stories about?
And maybe, what does that tell us about stories themselves? How they're made, how they change?
It's a fascinating challenge because, like you said, it's not just a biography, is it? It's almost a living history.
Yeah, where personal experiences become the building blocks of myth. This deep dive, it lets us peek behind that curtain of legend, see the human foundations.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Kvothe's childhood. Really unique. He's a child of the Adimaru.
The traveling performers, right? Nomads.
So not a static childhood at all, constant journeying. And that life must have profoundly shaped his early worldview, in ways most kids just wouldn't experience.
Oh, absolutely. What's immediately striking is the informal, almost immersive education he gets.
From his parents, especially.
Yeah, particularly them. They set a unique tone, his mother, described as sweet, but with strong hands.
And his father.
Graceful and gentle.
Yep.
Apparently quite good at seducing nobles' daughters and, more importantly, creating songs. Their teaching methods were sort of living lessons.
Like acting out romantic dialogues. I read that.
Exactly. Stuff like that. It clearly nurtured Kvothe's own nature, which is described as naturally curious and enthusiastic.
Always asking questions, eager to learn.
Right. Quick questions. Always absorbing from the world around him. It shows us, I think, that genius isn't always just born. Sometimes it's really cultivated in an environment that just sparks that hunger.
That makes sense. His classroom was literally the road, and every person they met was a potential teacher.
Mm-hmm. The sources mention him picking up an eclectic smattering of Commonwealth law from a barrister.
And woodcraft from a huntsman, Blackliff.
Yeah. So it's an education that's incredibly broad, even if it's not, traditionally structured.
And this environment, it also highlights the power of story itself.
And how easily accuracy can get lost, traded for a better story, a more compelling legend. It's sort of a key lesson for understanding how Kvothe's own story ends up being told later.
Okay, so that nomadic education laid some fascinating groundwork. But then there's a pivotal moment, a specific arrival.
The Benthi, or Ben.
Ben, right. He seems to be the one who really ignites Kvothe's path into the arcane, into sympathy.
He was definitely a catalyst. Kvothe initially invited him for, practical reasons, wasn't it? Cosmetics, better stage lighting.
Yeah, practical stuff for the trip. But Kvothe himself was much more interested in Ben's, let's say, unexplained abilities.
Like that sudden gust of wind that conveniently smacked the constable?
Exactly. So Ben starts teaching him sympathy.
And makes it clear right away, not an art for the weak-willed. It demands serious mental discipline.
The core concept being alar.
Alar, yes. That unwavering belief, he called it a writing crop belief, needed to connect objects sympathetically.
We see the example of binding iron drabs together. Simple, but it illustrates the principle.
And he emphasizes that things like pine pitch are just an aid for concentration, not the source of the power itself.
He lays out the fundamental principles, too, the laws of sympathy.
Key laws, yeah. First, similarity enhances sympathy. Makes sense that the more alike things are, the stronger the link.
And second,
Conservation. Basically, energy cannot be destroyed or created, merely lost or found. Physics, almost, but with willpower.
so it's a science, but one demanding immense mental focus. But there were dangers beyond just, getting the linkage wrong.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Ben was incredibly cautious. Remember his warning. Names are strange things, dangerous things.
He was even uncomfortable saying certain names aloud.
Right, and he had that gilder, that coin that felt cold to others but warm to him. A personal connection, maybe a ward.
It points to a deeper societal fear, too, doesn't it? The source mentions Nax and Tellen's burning people for demon signs.
It does, and that reflects a timeless human thing, right? Demonizing what we don't understand, especially if it challenges the established order, like the Tellen Church.
So it makes you wonder, what's the real cost of forbidden knowledge? Is it the knowledge itself or the fear and suppression it triggers?
That's a great question. And it definitely foreshadows the kind of resistance Kvothe himself is going to face later on.
That fear of the unknown, of names, of hidden power, it soon collides with something much, much darker. A cataclysm that just shatters Kvothe's world.
The Chandrian.
Yeah, everyone knows that chilling nursery rhyme. When the hearth fire turns to blue, what to do, what to do, run outside, run and hide.
Blue fire, one of their signs.
And the source material describes the aftermath, the murder of his family, his entire troop. It's devastating.
Utterly.
Yeah.
We get these chilling glimpses of the figures involved. Cinder, his voice like a chill wind.
And Heliax, the quiet one, face hidden in shadow, asking that horrifying question.
What is it that would harm you in the world? Just nightmarish.
And the immediate effect on Kvothe is profound. His mind uses what the text calls the door of madness.
A psychological defense. Reality is nothing but pain, and to escape that pain, the mind must leave reality behind. It's the brain protecting itself from unbearable trauma.
It's an incredible, vivid image. And his music becomes part of that coping. Wandering in the forest, playing things like warm grass and cool breeze.
Exactly. He wasn't trying to capture notes, the source says, but feelings. The raw emotion of his broken world. It's almost primal, a way to self-soothe.
And this wandering eventually leads him to Tarbian.
Which is described as a true crucible, a brutal survival test.
Yeah, the harsh realities, homeless, starving, begging, and that awful encounter with Pike.
Where his loot, his last real connection to his past, his parents, is nearly destroyed. Vicious.
Tarbian sounds like hell on earth, especially during that high morning festival.
10,000 amateur demons, the text says, making an already dangerous city even worse.
But even there, amidst all that brutality, he finds a tiny flicker of sanctuary.
He does. With Trappist in that basement. Kvothe calls it the closest thing I had to a family.
It's fragile, but it's a moment of human connection, care, in an otherwise savage place.
It shows that need for belonging, doesn't it? Even in the absolute worst circumstances. And it's also where he meets Scarpi.
Ah, Starpy the storyteller. Crucial figure. His stories start connecting some dots.
Especially the ones about Lonre and Salidos. The founding of Mir Turinale. Lonre becoming Heliax.
And Scarpi emphasizes that Salidos couldn't destroy Lonre's name because your name burns with the power in you.
Which echoes Ben's warnings perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About dangerous names, powerful names.
Absolutely. And Starpy's storytelling itself is dangerous. He gets interrupted by Tellen priests.
Right, which reinforces that whole theme. Certain knowledge, certain names, they aren't just powerful, they're threatening. Especially to those trying to control the narrative.
It's all about hidden truths, suppressed history, and the lengths people go to keep them buried.
Exactly. So after surviving Tarbian, he sets his sights on a new beginning. A challenging one.
Have you ever seen?
Mm-hmm. He arrives, sees the archives, that gray, windowless surface, like an immense gray stone.
And the inscription, Vorfilin Renat Amori. Hints of mysteries inside.
But getting in isn't easy. It's a serious admissions gauntlet.
Overseen by some formidable masters. Mandrag in chemistry.
Elxadal, and the master namer, Elodin, described as cracked, famously locked in the crockery once.
Right. But what's really striking is Kvothe's, audacity at his own admission.
Offering just 2 jots. Practically nothing.
But promising to do whatever it takes if they admit him for less. It shows incredible determination.
Especially compared to other students like Sovoy struggling with the humiliation of debt. Kvothe's willpower is just off the charts. It's a reminder that sometimes sheer belief in yourself opens doors.
Even when you have basically nothing else. But that determination immediately brings him into conflict.
Ambrose Jacus, wealthy, noble, firstborn heir, the main antagonist at the university.
What was their first real clash over? Something about a hot foot.
Yeah, basically a sympathy doll of Master Hemi. A bold prank, you have to admit.
Bold, but it leads to serious charges. Malfeasance. And the punishment. Riding the horns.
13 lashes and expulsion. Pretty severe.
But Kvothe, being Kvothe, he talks his way out of it mostly.
He does. He's clever. Claims Hemi gave him permission. Spins this plausible lie about it being his first lesson. Shows quick thinking under pressure.
But it doesn't entirely shield him from Ambrose's influence, does it?
No. Ambrose later subtly engineers Kvothe's ban from the archives. Master Lauren bans him for bringing in a candle.
So it's not just petty rivalry, it shows the university's internal politics, how influence and status matter just as much as talent.
It's a microcosm of the real world, isn't it? How power and manipulation can try to stifle brilliance.
While all this political chess is going on, there's another thread, a softer one. Denna.
Ah, Denna. A whirlwind indeed. Their reunion happens in Rowan's caravan.
Talking for hours, under a sea of stars, carefully avoiding their pasts. It's quite romanticized.
And then later, her showing up unexpectedly at the Aeolian, that inspires Kvothe's legendary performance.
The lay of Sir Savian Trilliard, playing with a missing string even.
And the crowd's reaction, a roar like leaping flame like thunder. She clearly has a profound effect on him.
But she's also a mystery herself, especially her patron, Master Ash.
Elusive is the word, secretive, asks questions like a spy, and disturbingly linked to blue fire and knife and sword work.
That blue fire again, same sign as the Chandrian.
Exactly. It suggests Denna, maybe unknowingly, is caught up in something much bigger, much darker. And Kvothe, too, by association. It's a thread connecting back to ancient evils.
They also have that adventure with the Dracus.
The tree-eating, fire-breathing, well, not exactly a dragon, but close enough, with flat teeth.
Denna has her lyre, a gift from Master Ash. They find Ophalum, the resin, and Kvothe hatches this wild plan to kill the creature.
With a triple and triple dose of Denna resin, but notably prioritizing getting the actual medicine to the people who need it over making a profit from the Ophalum.
Shows his priorities even then. What about Denna's character? Diok offers some insight.
Yeah, Diok notes her wandering blood, how other women tend to hate her because she's pretty and charming. But Kvothe sees her differently.
He sees her as rather lonely.
Right, and there are hints of vulnerability. When she says she's lucky to get you just a little, and her sweet eater sleep, it makes you wonder how well we can ever really know someone, especially someone so guarded.
Her allure and her secrets are definitely a defining paradox for Kvothe. Okay, so moving towards a culmination of sorts. There's a moment of raw power.
The confrontation with Ambrose, where Kvothe loses control.
And called the name of the wind, causing a storm, knocking Ambrose flat as if struck by the hand of God.
That is the moment, the breakthrough. Din, the master namer, confirms it almost casually. You call the name of the wind.
And his explanation is cryptic. It's like a common name, but also like the ancient, powerful names of things that someone like Tiborlin the Great knew.
It reveals the true nature of naming in this world. It's not just manipulation. It's a deep, fundamental connection. Speaking as the wind, not just about it.
But this power comes at a cost immediately.
Physical injuries, the threat of expulsion, and that internal struggle Kvothe has, rethinking fearless versus brave.
Realizing his past trauma made him underestimate Ambrose, see him as harmless. A mistake he calls himself a fool for later.
It shows that even incredible power doesn't erase past wounds or prevent bad judgment. It's a heavy price.
And speaking of mysteries and costs, the sources briefly touch on the four-plate door in the archives.
Ah, yes. That solid gray stone door. Unconventional keyholes. The word valaritas, a door meant for staying closed.
Aelodin just acknowledges it exists, which only adds to the mystery.
It feels like a symbol of the ultimate hidden knowledge, maybe the limits of what even Kvothe can achieve or understand.
Which brings us sort of full circle back to the present day in the story. To Kvothe, the innkeeper, and the weight he carries.
Yeah, the narrative shifts back. We see his weariness, the physical toll, throbbing head, bruised leg, ribs, his ragged state. This is clearly not the Kvothe of the legends.
No, this is Kvothe. And Bast, his student and friend, is deeply worried.
Profoundly concerned. Fear's coat is fading into the woodwork that this place is killing him.
Bast's protectiveness is intense. That warning he gives Chronicler.
Chilling. Do not mistake me for my mask. You see light dappling on the water, and forget the deep, cold dark beneath, threatening an orchestra of misery.
It's a stark reminder of Bast's loyalty, maybe his own nature, and the danger Kvothe seems to be in, just by existing, by not being Kvothe.
And the story ends, or pauses, with that powerful image of the three silences in the Waystone Inn.
The ordinary silence of the patrons, Cody's own personal, internal silence.
And that third, deeper silence, emanating from the stone walls, the sword hanging there, the crumpled memoir in Cody's hands.
That crumpled memoir, it's almost like the story itself is broken, set aside, ignored.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? About the cost of the past, the burden of the legend he created, or perhaps is trying to escape. These silences aren't empty. They're full of everything that's been lost or locked away.
So we've journeyed through this extraordinary youth, curious trooper to arcane master, shaped by love, loss, ancient forces.
We've seen his thirst for knowledge lead him to incredible discoveries, but also unimaginable pain, ultimately leading him here, to this quiet, burdened life as Kvothe.
And you've heard how powerful stories, names, even silence can be, how the past really does haunt and define the present in unexpected ways.
This deep dive, I think, it shows us that even the grandest legends are built on layers of very human experience, sorrow, maybe even deliberate choices.
So here's something to think about. If Kvothe, the man telling the story, is in some sense killing Kvothe, the legend, what does it actually mean to be alive?
And what silent battles are fought inside us long after the big thunderous events are over, the ones that truly shape who we finally become.
Something to chew on. Until next time on The Deep Dive.